Before we begin, I want to address a pronunciation issue. I apologize if I make a mistake here, but I've heard his name pronounced as both Goemon and Goemon. For ease of only upsetting half the audience, I'll be going with Goemon. Konami. Where do we even start? Konami has brought the gaming world so many treasures. The Konami Code, Castlevania and Silent Hill, Contra and Metal Gear, Gradius and Suikoden. They also gave us famous names like Hideo Kojima, Mika Higashino, and the African dance master himself, Naoki Maeda.
Of course, you can become the ultimate dance master.
They also promised us treasures like that Guillermo del Toro Silent Hill that suddenly made my roommate's PS4 worth thousands of dollars, and erotic violence. But we don't talk about erotic violence. If someone asked you, what would Konami consider their best franchise? The one worthy of making into their mascot character? Who would you guess? Simon Belmont? Solid Snake? Or for you weirdos, Pyramid Head? Well, you'd be wrong. It's this guy. And that isn't just any guy. In Japan, that guy has 29 games to his name, although only 5 arrived over here in North America, and that's compared to about 15 Silent Hill games and almost as many games as there are in the Castlevania series. This is Ishikawa Goemon, and there's a reason you may never have heard of him. But who is he? Ishikawa Goemon is a Japanese Robin Hood figure who, according to folklore, between the 1570s and 1590s was responsible for a large number of anti-establishment acts in Japan, with stories often involving the classic stole from the rich to give to the poor, and apparently also included an attempted assassination on Oda Nobunaga himself, before being captured and boiled alive in the 1590s. Ew. In 1986, Konami released a pair of games loosely based around the exploits of Ishikawa Goemon, Mr. Goemon in the arcade and Gambare Goemon Karakuri Dochu. Both games saw middling success, but a star was born. Over time, the long-running Gambare Goemon series would soon be known for its light, irreverent humor and its love of poking fun at Japanese pop culture and other video games. So, what does this have to do with anything? Well, what if I told you that this little fella has one of the best Nintendo 64 games? Mystical Ninja, starring Goemon, is a very difficult game to fully explain, so please, stick with me. Released in 1997-98, Mystical Ninja asks, what if Link to the Past was an N64 game? Which, honestly, is a really great question. To me, Link to the Past was peak Zelda. But then it goes on to ask other critical questions, such as, what if it had giant robot fights? And what if there were major musical numbers within? And what if it had a laugh track? Again, I said this was a hard game to explain, so keep sticking with me. Okay, one thing at a time. Link to the Past. Always start with Link to the Past. At its heart, Mystical Ninja is a Zelda clone. There are dungeons where you earn a unique skill that you need to progress. They're made up of individual rooms that each are like a miniature puzzle to solve to get a key to move on. Sometimes that's a traversal puzzle, sometimes it's a bombing puzzle, or it's a kill all the enemy puzzles. Regardless, you're collecting keys to open doors. There are special pickups in each dungeon to separately reveal the map and the boss location, and the rooms even reset when you go back to them. It's hard to explain, it really is, but it feels like Link to the Past, or any of the great 2D Zelda games when you're playing it. I'm going to be honest here, and I'm interested in the drop-off of viewers on my analytics. I don't really like Ocarina of Time. There, I said it. No, hear me out. I think it's a fantastic game, and an incredible achievement with the limitations of the N64. I can totally understand why people enjoy it. It's just not for me. I don't enjoy how it feels, and I think it's a very difficult game to look at, even considering the platform. Mystical Ninja, on the other hand, seems to capture the experience I want from a Zelda game in 1998. It's bright and colorful, the controls are smooth, and they feel really good. For the N64, that is. The camera is still the main villain. The dungeons are interesting to explore, they're colorful, they're bright, and the soundtrack absolutely rips. It's silly, and it's light, and it refuses to take itself seriously. And it's just fun to play. It also has giant robot fights. Link doesn't have giant robot fights. Goemon does. Let's talk about Impact. Impact is Goemon's giant robot buddy, who is also a movie star in America. Don't worry about it. There are several Impact sequences throughout the game that completely change things from a Zelda on steroids to a first-person mecha fist-fighting extravaganza. Impact and his stages are split into 3 sections. The first is you get to enjoy Impact's incredible theme song in what is clearly a homage to Super Sentai or Power Rangers, which I absolutely love. You get to see Goemon joining with Impact and bop along to the theme song, performed none other than by Ichiro Mizuki, who has created a huge number of songs for anime and tokusatsu. Just listen. I'm going to stop talking for a moment here. After you've gotten super pumped up from that theme, you're dropped into a short on-rails section where you are destroying enemy robots in Japanese cities. If Godzilla can do it and still be called a hero, then so can we. After that, you're going to head into some fantastic first-person mech battle action. These boss battles are a blast, with a complex series of controls and combos that feel like you're playing a 2D fighter from a first-person perspective, and also actually piloting a mech. Learning to master the various combo inputs is a must, and the battles feel very satisfying. The hits feel beefy, and there's a genuine feel of accomplishment when you pull off a move at the right moment to break a boss's combo. The fights themselves are actually quite difficult, and until you wrap your head around Impact's controls, you might find yourself losing a lot, which adds a sudden injection of tension into the otherwise easy gameplay. Though that can be a bit of a shock if you're not prepared for it. The sequences are a real blast, and the biggest shame is honestly that there aren't enough of them. And it's got that slapping theme song, don't forget. On the subject of music, Mystical Ninja is fueled by music. Not only is the soundtrack an absolute banger from start to finish, but the game's plot revolves around it. Let's talk about why we're giant mech fighting across Japan. Goemon and his companion Ibisumaru are enjoying another normal day in Oedo, when Japan is suddenly attacked by a strange UFO. Goemon and Ibi soon discover that they have been attacked by the Peach Mountain Shoguns, who are an interstellar group of singers, dancers, and musicians who are planning to kidnap all the children in Japan to make the ultimate traveling troupe and use the power of the ultimate song to enslave all of Japan. Goemon and Ibi will travel across Japan, reuniting with their old friends Yae and Sasuke, and will eventually battle the Peach Mountain Shoguns in space on their ultimate performance stage. And yes, there is another absolute banger of a song. And yes, I'm going to be quiet for a moment. The soundtrack in Mystical Ninja is unstoppable. It's well worth just enjoying it on its own, honestly. There are no misses. Jammed into the massive 128 megabit cartridge is around 40 unique tracks, and each one is a serious success. For me, though, the top winner is the opening theme, Gambare Goemon. It is a wicked pump-up song, and sometimes I'll just listen to it if I'm having a rough go at work and need something to get me amped. Or when I have to do hard labor like laundry and dishes. Yep, I know, a bit of shush now. Ultimately, you need to play this game. If you're a fan of classic Zelda games, you will adore this game. If you love N64 games that actually control smoothly, you'll really enjoy it. If you like games that have a beautiful color palette and don't take themselves seriously, you will be into this game. And if you love games with a killer soundtrack, you will be bopping your way through it. Seriously, play this game. Just watch out for the camera, it'll get you. If you've enjoyed this quick review, please stick around for all my other content. You can find all the streams for Mystical Ninja starring Goemon in the Playlists tab, and I'm usually streaming 2 to 3 nights a week. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you on the next one.